Welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm Quickshot, joined by Trouble and the victorious YamatoCannon. Yamato, congratulations on the win. Tell me, how badly were you sweating during the early game?
Honestly, not so much. It's so weird to play from the office because I'm just in a room and there's no noise and I'm watching the game on a delay. So it's weird you don't feel the same level of intensity, and I don't really have these intentions to win every game early. I don't really care about the results. So I was more hyped in the moments where like Gragas smacked the Jinx around, broke her neck, when the humanoid broke the neck of Kazi's old teammate. Those moments got me hyped up. The early game, I was like, it's whatever. I was probably sweating because of other reasons,
I can tell how excited you and the team must be, because Yamato, every time you're on PGL or any interview, you are one of the most composed individuals ever. And here you are singing and dancing, after the game. But break it down a little bit more for me. I think we might have a little bit of footage to talk about. Early game didn't 100% go Fnatic's way. Obviously, Wonder with the outplay. Top was fantastic, but Vitality did manage to pull ahead. So, how did you guys bring the game back?
Yeah, we kind of griefed the Rift Herald situation, and then we died top as well. And they got a lot of value from Rift Herald, but then eventually we just found a lot of dragons when we were grouping. I think our champs were just a little bit too broken, and then the way the fights always started, we kind of outplayed them really, really hard. I think the Zilean ults came in clutch in a lot of moments. I think Humanoid, right now on the screen, Kazi's neck is just on the floor right there.
It's non-existent.
It's non-existent completely, and then Wunder as well with his, he came in with a vengeance. So it's just incredible to have players that are capable of doing so amazing things, and I think everyone in each position right now with this roster, they can do amazing things to bring us back to the game. So I feel awfully blessed.
Honestly, it's great to see the level of composure that your players kept throughout these fights, because the amount of back and forth that each and every champion did to correctly sidestep an ability to throw another one out, I think it was world-class to see. But I want to ask you, I want to hone down a little bit on the draft. Talk to me a little bit about the Zilean, because I've been hearing rumors and tales about it, but Hylissang made it look really easy here.
Zilean, he's a Time Lord. He controls time, and Hilly is the same way. There's a quote Zilean always does. He says, "I knew you would do that," and Hilly knows what the enemy wants to do, and it just fits him. So he just gets into their head and throws his abilities. Dies once or twice, but he scales so good. So no worries there.
I have a question to ask you about one of the interviews we heard yesterday, where I think it was Upset, if I recall correctly, was saying that they wanted to be Razork was saying Fnatic wants to be a team that is aggressive, but intelligently aggressive. Do you think that is a good kind of motto or image of what this Fnatic roster is going to eventually become?
I think that's just saying, just play good with more complicated words. It's like calling us aggressive. You're supposed to be aggressive when it's good to be aggressive. You're supposed to be defensive when it's good to be defensive. I don't want to put us in any box. I just want us to be the type of team that makes the best possible decision, regardless of the situation we're in. And I'm happy that the two games we played were kind of controversial in the sense that we were behind, and we managed to keep composure, and we figured out a way to break the puzzle regardless of the position we're in, because a lot of the scrims, tend to be very, very one-sided, and I think it was a true test for us, these two games that we played. So I'm incredibly happy to walk away with the points, and also a lot of learnings that we can take away from the games.
I love the fact that you are referencing both of the games, and obviously not going the way that you would want them to. But give me a brief review or overview of how those games played out on stage, maybe in contrast to expectations from scrims or expectations before you saw everybody on the Rift.
I think, the game is inherently very volatile. You can make one mistake and that can open up just a can of worms. It's just the nature of the game, especially we are playing best of ones. So, sometimes you have a scrim game that's just, you're from a very hard losing position early on because you're testing something, or something that you intended to do didn't work as well as you thought it would, like the 2v2 on top yesterday, and we just gave a double kill, and all of a sudden we're playing on the back foot until came back. And today was a similar story. They got the Rift Herald, they got the double kill on bot, they were 4k gold ahead, but then eventually, we realized if we reach a certain point with these champions, we're going to be able to defeat them with ease, and that just happened. I think just the unity behind the game plan, I think that really, really shine through both today and yesterday. So I'm very happy about that, because those are the qualities that are tougher to teach. Those 2v2s that we made a mistake, the Rift held and so forth, these are easy things that we can learn from. So just the perfect start for us, I would say.
Honestly, it's so great to hear that the team synergy and also the whole environment in your team is just so positive. I want to dig a little bit deep. You guys kept what I and many others considered the best bot in the West, and you built on that. Give us a little bit of spice on how you chose the rest of the roster around them.
Well, we want to win the LEC. We want to win the World Championship. So let's pick players that have the capacity to do that. Wunder, I think he has had the highest peak of any top laner that has played in the West. And I say that as a former top laner. No, I'm just kidding. I was trash. And then Marek, of course, I think he was the driving force behind why Mad Lions was so good last year. They won back-to-back splits, and it was just natural, best performing Western mid laner to pursue him. And then, of course, I think the jungle role is up for contention in the West, because I didn't feel like there was any clear player that stood out that was, fantastic last year. And I think that's why the whole Whipple lane swap thing happened, right? Because the jungle role was kind of just up for grabs. I think Ivan has the right mentality and the mechanical talent to push his limits and become the best jungler in his position. So I feel like we just have, players that have no limitations. I've been in so many situations where it's like, a player can only play a set amount of champs. Maybe you have to kind of put them in boxes and figure out band-aid solutions, how to make a team work. And it doesn't feel like that at all. I feel like we can play in many dimensions. It's just a gorgeous situation to be in, because I feel like our potential is definitely unlimited. It's just a question of what we do with our time. And for now, I'm happy with the progress we've made, because we've barely scrimmed in December and November like some of the other teams did. So we had a lot of catching up to do, but it seems like we've caught up in some shape or form.
I have two things to say on this. First and foremost, in terms of the jungle pool, I assume because Elyoya was not available, he wasn't on your list for consideration, because that young man left a statement last year. But also, there is a very different vibe in our conversation, in the conversations we had with Fnatic members yesterday. The boldness, the confidence to say we want to win in LEC, we want to win World Championship, that's the goal. It's refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air, I think, and it speaks a lot to those foundations you're talking about behind the scenes in terms of how the players are working together, the systems that you're working on. Is this first couple of weeks in the new year already different to the environment that you had, or the philosophical approach from 2021?
I think, of course, my own personal progression as a coach is always, an addition of what I've been through, right? We're just a sum of our own experiences. And there's definitely a lot of things that I learned last year that I'm going to apply to this year. And I feel like that's the case with everyone, because we just have such a wealth of experience, but from different backgrounds. Like we have players from some of the best teams that Europe has ever created, right? We have Wunder from the G2 roster. We have Hilly that played, of course, in the 2018 Fnatic. We have, of course, Marek from, Mad Lions. And we just try to mix that experience together and learn as much as possible from each other. So, of course, there are different things that change, because even when you swap out one person, the dynamic changes. The language that you communicate in and how you need to do things in order to accommodate everyone is going to naturally change. And this team, of course, every player is unique in their own way, and the dynamic is also different in the way we talk and the way we review. But so far, I'm so proud that I can say that I have 5 professionals that came here to play and came here to win and came here to prove a point. I think not winning the LEC would be a very, very big disappointment with what the formula that we have at our hands.
Well, I tell you what, not exactly trying to de-escalate the pressure here, but understandable, admirable. And when we look at the standings, Rogue, G2, and Fnatic, they are the only teams that remain undefeated after 2 days of play. Vitality sitting down at 0-2. Trouble, I'm going to come to you when we look at the results. Are you surprised by any of this just yet?
I have to say I'm surprised about the Vitality 0 and 2. I mean, on paper, the super team, the legends coming back, you know, Alphari, Perks, Holy, super team. Yes, we have Fnatic as well, which, with statements from Europe, these are European super teams, the two of them. And seeing one of them at the very top 2 and 0 and the other one 0 and 2, it's like night and day.
Yamato, when I ask you to look at the standings, how many weeks of play do you think it will take before we get something that is close to the accurate power level of Europe?
Probably like 6-7 weeks. I think it's going to be closer to the end. You know, I believe, you know, the standings just don't matter at all. Like 2-0, like us being 0-2, 2-0, I don't think I would feel any different. You know, of course I get excited because my homies did some good moves today. But generally speaking, I don't think really the results at this point matter. You know, I know that the narrative writers in the back are like, oh my goodness, I'll never bring him out on PGL again because, you know, we want to hype up the fact that Team Vitality is 0-2, you know, we need to use this. But honestly, on my end, you know, I think it's just player quality, player ceiling, just the players they have in Vitality, they're going to figure things out. Always when you walk into week one, sometimes, you know, because we are playing in Super Week, so the amount of teams that we can scrim is fairly limited. We can only scrim maybe 4 or 5 teams, so there's kind of like these bubbles taking form, and all of a sudden, you know, draft ideas are going to be different, and then LCK and the LPL always start ahead of us, and there's always these teams that are like, okay, well, we're just going to copy LPL and just, you know, see how it goes, and then like the draft situation and the meta situation is just up for grabs because like Team Vitality, you know, their game against Mad Lions, that was just, you know, rough from the get-go and draft. So did they really get to show what they are capable of? This game, you know, they had some good moments, and you know, 0-2 I don't think is indicative of their power at all. And for the rest of the thing, I still feel like us, Vitality, G2, and Mad Lions are going to be the top 4 teams at the end of the split. Maybe Rogue with their playstyle is going to have, you know, like a margin in terms of the victories, but I feel like the Rogue story is going to be always the same, you know, go into playoffs, lose best of 5s and, you know, fall flat. But maybe with the new players, something will change. I'll have to pay attention more.
I love listening to your answers, but I hate interviewing you because you've been on the show. You know what I'm going to ask next. So let's look ahead towards tomorrow. It's the final day of Super Week. Mad Lions will play G2 at the end of the day. Before I get your prediction, you guys are playing SK tomorrow. They picked up a pretty surprising victory today. How do you expect tomorrow's matchup to go?
I think, you know, still in the beginning, I think SK, they figured out some things on how to progress games, which is interesting. I believe we should win. If we don't, I won't care. We just gotta keep it brewing and get better. You know, playoffs is what matters in my eyes. In regards to the other matches, you want to hear my prediction on the other matchups too?
Give me a Mad versus G2. Who's gonna come up on top on that one?
Mad versus G2, like I'm curious what's hiding behind the Diana door for Mad Lions. You know, are they gonna keep playing Diana Yasuo every game, or like will the Diana door be closed and then all of a sudden they are pushed to other limits and they'll have to show something else? So I'm curious what that's gonna happen. I think you know, both teams have shown some good elements, but the fact that like Mad Lions, the game they played today was very dirty. Like very, very dirty.
Yes.
So it's hard to make a prediction. Maybe G2. Honestly, G2 also had a very dirty game, didn't they?
Okay, so you've given all the context
it's
now.
Dirty all over the place.
I need you to give me your final answer. Who will win tomorrow right now?
I'm just going to say G2. Let's say G2 is going to win it.
Trouble?
Whoa. You know what? I think I'm going to go with G2 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mad Lions not giving a lot of confidence after today's loss. Yamato, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck tomorrow. That was it from us here tonight. But the LCS lock-in is live right now, and you can catch Team Liquid starting their 2022 season versus Dignitas in 4 minutes. We'll be back tomorrow for the final day of Super Week. We'll see you then. Woo! Welcome back to Berlin, Germany, home of the LEC, where we are getting ready for an action-packed day 2 of the 2022 season.
Then gets the steal going out from YamatoCannon's open. Here tries to get onto the backline, some damage onto Odoamne. VTO, there's the final chapter as well as VTO tries to get in, but he just can't put the damage down. Zlatan now running away. He will fall as well, and Odoamne's on the backline. Rogue able to steal away the dragon and steal away Misfits' lives. Rogue will pick up their second win of spring.
Team BDS and XL Esports started the year with a loss, but tonight, one of them will bounce back with their first win, and that's a fact.
Forge God has been used. Synchro tries to get in the midst of them, but with the Crescent Sweep, he cannot survive. And now XL can open up! Victory from the jaws of defeat as they take down XL and claim their first win ever in the LEC.
The Kevtech Drake is too powerful. Elyoya in the midst of the entire team, but it is simply not enough. 5-man ultimate on the follow-up with Reeker. Ultimate comes out from Gillies. He's trying to peel. What can he get down the backline? Reeker has the Guardian Angel, the proc here. Kai's trying to find the hook, but Jenex is going to dash away. Ultimate from Unforgiven gets 3 members of SK. SK win. And God, that was such a bloodbath, such a messy game. I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm totally messing with you. Wait, I'm fine. My audio's fine. I was kidding. Oh, what the hell?
Oh, I didn't warn you. God, my heart.
We're good. We're getting ready for Astralis G2. You just heard the devs cover that and the epic game that we had before it, and we can only hope that this game will be equally epic. Dayor now going into the pit. White Knight knocked back. He's going to be able to take down one, but nobody else. The Dragon going down in favor of G2. They got a Cloud Soul, but what is it worth in a fight? G2 taking down Astralis.
It's Fnatic versus Vitality match of the week.
But there goes Selfmade, and out goes Upset. Will go down in the end. The ultimate not coming through from Hylissang. Hylissang still waiting, biding his time, looking for an opportunity to use it. The double bombs now coming in. Fnatic winning the fight for now, but Carzzy has found the resets. He's running out of mana, but it might not matter. Fnatic will take the fight